Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are going to go ahead and jump back into TierMaker by doing a tier list of all the well, not all, but most of the controllers, like the more popular controllers that have been used for gaming consoles throughout the years, even going back into the 90s and even before. And we are joined by Rohdak yet again. However, now he is known as Drood, D-R-O-O-D. The link to his channel down in the description. He's starting to do clips and everything like that. Wanted to give him a solid shout out. But yeah, throughout this video, you'll still hear me call him Rohdak. I always forget that he has changed his name. But I hope you guys enjoy. And let's roll the intro. Alright, so up first we have the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons, which come with the Switch. Have you ever used them?
I have indeed. And they are awful.
Why is that? Why are they
They're
awful?
so they're okay when they're on the Switch. Like when you're playing the games on your Switch, I can't really tell. You know, they feel fine. They're responsive. They work fine. But the moment you take them off the Switch and you put them into the controller that you get that you can slide them into.
Yeah, I have one of them.
So if you put them in there or you hold them yourself, you can just tell how shit they are. They feel horrible. They're so small. I've got big palms, so they don't they feel like I'm holding chopsticks in my hand. They're so tiny.
Yeah, I agree. That when they're attached to the Switch and you're using it as a mobile thing, they work perfectly fine. But when they're taken off and are completely wireless, yeah, it just feels a little janky and not comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they just feel. I think my biggest pet peeve with them is that they're just so small. Like I don't have massive hands, but my palms are huge, so my palms just suffocate them. So I can't really do anything with them. They're kind of annoying to use, like wireless.
Knees weak, arms are heavy, like your palms are sweaty. Anyways. So
Anyway.
yeah, I agree. It depends. Like it's a 50-50. They can be good, but they can also be bad, just depending on how they're being used.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I would honestly, personally rank them at about a C. Like they're tolerable. They're not the
Yeah.
worst controller, but and I just noticed that there's not a normal Nintendo Switch controller on it. Which is weird. Like the non-Joy-Con controller. Which
Yeah,
I
I
own
can see
a
one.
Zelda one of.
Do you not
What?
see it? I can see it.
Where? Oh no, I see it now. Never mind.
In between the two PlayStation controllers.
Yeah. I did not see that because I didn't recognize the just glancing by. I didn't recognize like the design of it. I'm used to seeing
The
them
colorway
either.
is a bit bland.
Yeah, I'm used to seeing them in all black or with something like Nintendo related, like Pikachu
Yeah.
or Link or someone on it. Yeah, let's go ahead with the Joy Cons here. I would say C.
Yeah, I agree with C. It's so situational. Like you say, if you're using them with the Switch as a whole, it's great. But once that you take them out and use them on
Mm-hmm.
their own, they're awful.
Yep. Okay, now up next, let's go ahead and do the Nintendo Switch regular controller. Um, Now obviously this is the opposite of the Joy-Cons because it's good when you have it docked, but you obviously can't use it while it's not docked.
No, yeah.
But honestly, like how often? Let me ask you this: how often do you carry around your Switch and would need it and like play it?
I don't actually. So I actually rarely use my Switch anymore. I kind of just leave it in my bedroom. I play it if I'm in bed or I'm just chilling. I don't actually play my Switch a lot anymore. So this controller doesn't really come out that often.
For me,
I'd say.
there are two ways that I use my Switch. The only time I use it when it's mobile is when I'm taking a shit. And I want a game. It's like I don't want to get up to go take a shit and leave the game. So I'm gonna take it with me. But otherwise, unless I'm taking a shit, I do not use it in its mobile form. It sits in my fucking dock, but I don't
Yeah,
use
yeah.
it too often anymore. But I prefer it in the dock with the controller. In the controller itself, let me actually grab mine here. Where the fuck is it? There it is. I'm gonna grab it so I can hold it in my hands, physically feel it. Yeah,
I hope you're
honestly,
talking about the controller.
oh yeah, I'm talking about the Pac-Man joystick. Um, um, but the one I have, anyways, it's one of the. I think it's like an official one. Like I got
Mhm.
it. I got it through freaking Walmart of all places. But um, like it was branded, like the branding and everything. Like Walmart's not one to go and grab knockoff brands of shit and
Okay.
that are trying to look like the real thing. Like they wouldn't brand it as Nintendo. Unless it was actually from Nintendo, which this one is.
No, yeah.
It's a very, very light in my hands. And I don't
It's,
necessarily like that. I don't like a heavy controller, but I like a little bit of weight behind it. This just feels like I'm
yeah,
holding a feather.
there's a middle point, isn't there? There's too light, and then there's an
Yeah.
absolute brick.
Like, you know those really cheap mice that you can get for your PC that are way too freaking light?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, that's what it feels like weight wise, anyways. Um,
It's a comfortable controller, I gotta
yeah.
admit.
But what sitting in my hands and whatnot, it is almost. It feels like I'm holding my Xbox controller after it lost some weight. Like it shed some pounds and um. So I would say it's fairly decent. It's my preferred way of playing the Switch. Um, and I mean, I'm sure there are other Switch controllers that are heavier. So this is just specifically mine that I have an issue with the weight. um, and I have used like the all black Nintendo ones,
Yeah, yeah.
like the default ones, and they were all right. I would probably rank it as B myself.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I'll go with B. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, it's a decent controller. Obviously it has some problems, but overall
Yeah,
it's actually a decent controller. It's comfortable to use. Yeah, the
yeah,
weight issue is kind of lacking, but
yeah,
overall, yeah, I agree with that.
and I'm sure the weight issue could be fixed just with a different Nintendo controller,
Yeah,
like
definitely.
with
Yeah,
a different Switch controller. Okay, so that's in B. Up next, this is that the 360
yeah, it is. Yep.
controller? Okay. So the 360 controller, which I'm trying to think my Xbox controller what it's similar to. Um, it's fairly similar. I mean, most Xbox controllers, except for the original, are pretty close to each other.
Yeah, pretty
And
much.
um, mine is a lot closer to, I believe, the Xbox. Controller. But in general, I remember playing a lot on the freaking 360. Like that's the first Xbox that I actually played actively on.
Yeah, me too.
Um,
Yeah.
and I enjoy the Xbox 360 and on controllers. Like I have no complaints, and
No,
they
no.
just rest in my hands the way I like to hold it. It rests perfectly. And when I go, I'm one of those people who go middle finger on the right trigger
Hmm.
and my right pointer um on the right bumper.
Okay, got you. Yeah.
But with my left hand, it's just my left pointer finger sitting on the trigger.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how I quite often play with my controller.
Okay.
Um, and it's like, and even if I just go with just the trigger fingers on the back, it's still like either way, it's comfortable for me. It sits perfectly in my hands. What do you think?
Yeah, the Xbox 360 controller I used extensively. I played a lot of Xbox 360. All the like old Halos, always playing with the Xbox 360 controller. So this controller is very comfy, very comfy. So from growing up with the Xbox 360, it was all like no matter the hand, no, like starting off having small hands, and then I was obviously getting older and growing up, and my hands growing, it always felt comfortable no matter like how big my hands were.
Yeah,
If that make
exactly.
if that makes sense, like it was always comfortable. It was never a moment in time where I picked up the controller and went, this is too big or this is too small. Like it was always perfect to pick up and play with. You could play with it for hours, I never had any problems with it. I love this
Yeah,
controller.
same. I would personally rank the 360 controller as an A.
Mm,
Or
I'm just trying to
or is
think.
it S?
I'm just trying to think because like I say, I played with it so much. I really had any problems with it. I think
Yeah.
my only problem would be is the battery pack kind of got in the way sometimes.
Yeah, and in my experience with you bringing up battery packs, the rate at which the controllers burn through the batteries, no matter how good of quality batteries you have, they always burn so quick.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I do remember having to buy packs of batteries just to
Yeah,
make
like
sure I had
large
enough
packs. Yeah,
until
like
I
large packs.
realized that I could get because you'd be able to buy the inbuilt battery pack that you could just put in and then you could
Hmm.
charge it. I used to have
Yeah,
one of them at one point,
but
so
the
that kind
fact
of
that
fixed
it
it. But
the fact that it didn't come with those is
no, yeah, that was
kind of
a
so we're
bit
looking at
garbage.
the default controller, the default the way
Yeah,
it
the
comes
default.
originally.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, I agree with A. Yeah,
Because of the battery situation, it gets downgraded
yeah,
to an A.
yeah,
I was
purely because of them. Yeah.
I was about to be like no S, and then you brought up batteries. I'm like, nope, it's back to A.
No, yeah, definitely, I agree with A. Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and grab the Xbox One controller and do that one to get that out of the way since we're on the topic of Xbox.
So
Um, so
straight
it's
up, I've just gonna put this in C.
and see,
I thought it was a good controller, just the pure fact that it was so big. It was incredibly huge
yes.
that
So
I had problems with it.
okay, so here's my thing. Yes, it is bigger than the 360 controller, but and I only have limited experience with it because I didn't
Yeah, me too.
play too much on the Xbox One. Like I was always playing at friends' houses and shit like that.
Yeah, yeah,
And
me
that
too.
was
Yeah, that's my experience.
mostly during the 360 era was when I was playing Xbox the most. Um but I would probably like yes, it's a little larger, but it still has that general shape and uh like I still feel like it is a good quality controller. That is
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, it's slightly larger, but it still was nice to hold.
yeah, definitely.
Like there are a
Just
lot
the fact
worse
that it was
ones.
so
I
big.
would
Yeah, definitely.
I would probably rank it like right alongside the Switch controller
Hmm. I'm just
personally.
trying to think. Like I say, my experiences are limited with this controller. It was never really
Yeah,
extensive play. It was kind of just here and there at friends' houses and stuff. So I'm just trying to
it's
think
better
back.
than it's better than the Switch Joy Cons,
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
not
Okay.
as
Yeah.
good. But
I
it's
agree
not as
with
good
B.
as the
Yeah.
360 one. So it's right
No.
between.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll put it B. Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. Okay, let's go ahead with the original Xbox controller. I fucking hate this monstrosity. I'm just getting it out there.
Uh,
It was
yeah. It was not fun to use.
not at all. Um,
No.
I'm ranking it as D. Just straight up. It is so
Yeah.
clunky and it is not that round. It just felt awkward in my hands as a kid.
Yeah. It definitely felt awkward. Yeah.
So I'm saying D. What do you say?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah, that's fine. Absolutely.
I just had to get that monstrosity out of the way. All right, so up next, I've seen this controller, but I can't remember which controller it is. It's
Yeah,
the
I have no idea.
light gray with the two diagonal buttons in the middle.
Yeah, I cannot remember what this. I think it's for like I remember seeing it on like fighting games and stuff, but I can't think what
Was
console
it?
this controller goes to. Mm,
Was it Sega? Like the Genesis?
maybe.
Let me actually pull this up really.
No, that was the other controller. I'm not sure what
Atari?
controller this is. Atari. Is that it? I thought that was this. No, I thought that was
No,
the.
the Atari had like the joystick with the one
Yeah,
button. Shit.
yeah, yeah.
Let's
Yeah, I have
freaking
no idea. I can't say I've ever used this controller either. I can't think back to a time where I've ever used this controller.
Just googling old gaming controllers and. Well, it looks like someone's selling an Etsy poster of all controllers on it.
Awesome.
So this controller is that's Super Nintendo.
Oh, is it?
The Super Nintendo, yeah. Which I never played like the early on Nintendo system.
No, me neither.
But I like this. The evolution of the video game controller. Oh my god, Atari Home Pong console. Okay, I'm getting myself distracted here. Okay, so that was what did I say? Shit. Super Nintendo. I'd never used it. Because I didn't play on the Super Nintendo, but based off of just looking at it, I would say I would hate the controller.
It does have some bad qualities to it. It looks really like small and
yeah, it just looks more like a TV remote than a gaming controller.
yeah, like I said, I think I've seen people use this controller for fighting games. You know, like
yeah,
I can't even think of fighting games now, like Street Fighter and stuff like that, or
yeah.
old fighting games, and
But
they kind of like hold it at an angle and press the 4 buttons on the side, you know, the 2 diagonal buttons.
yeah.
So it's kind of like, I guess it's universal in which way you use it, but yeah, I don't think I'd like that controller either.
But I'm placing it never used since we never
Yeah,
used it.
yeah, me too. Yeah, I've never seen it. Well, yeah, never used it before in my life. So.
All right. So next up we have this is the PS. Is it 4 or 5?
That's
4.
PS4.
Yeah.
Yeah, PS4, and that is going straight into a D. No questions asked.
Yeah, I've never used it. So
I don't like it.
I've never used
really
it, but since you have, since one of us has experience with it, it goes with that person. So you said D, it goes in D. You want to explain why?
Yeah, so like I keep coming back to, I have big palms, like I have big hands. I have quite small fingers, but I have big hands in general, and the analog sticks being so close together really annoyed me all the time. It's the same with the PS2 controller and the PS1 controller, PS3 controller. I like them; they're good controllers. You know, they're reliable. They always work. They never felt cheap in any sense. Maybe the PS2 controller a little bit, but the PS4 controller, in my opinion, was just not that good of a controller for me. Like I say, I think overall it was a great controller. Like I say, it's reliable. It works. It's great to use. It's responsive, but just the analogs themselves with it's going to be the same answer with every PlayStation controller. The analog sticks being so close together, I could just never get used to. Just for the pure fact that I've played so much Xbox, the Xbox controller layout is just superior in my opinion.
Yeah, I understand that. Like, I agree that the Xbox is overall Xbox is superior control.
Oh yeah,
compared
100%.
to PlayStation.
Don't fight me in the comments, but it's true.
So up next we have I can't read that.
I think
What's it
it's
say on it?
I think it's the Atari.
No, that's not the
No,
Atari.
not
The
Atari. Sorry. Damn it.
Sega Genesis.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture I was using before, and it looks closest. Actually, no, both look like.
Oh yeah, no, the Sega Genesis is the one on the right.
Right. Yeah. What's the one
I have
on the
no
left?
idea what the one on the left is. No idea. I've never used it.
Yep, just put it in never used. If anyone in the freaking comments knows what this one right here is, I cannot read that to save my damn life. Actually, let me go out of full screen with this and see if I can zoom in. Oh, it's a Sega Saturn. Fuck.
Oh.
I've never heard of the Saturn from Sega.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I've never once heard of that. Huh. Interesting. Okay, so then up next we have the Sega Genesis, which I believe was it an Atari or a Sega? I think I had a Sega when I was like, or did I have it a Sega? I remember coming across either an Atari or a Sega when I was little. and you playing on it like once. So, but like this is a very vague memory.
Yeah, that's same here. I think I played once on my uncle's console, and I think it was a Sonic game, and I played for maybe 15 minutes, if that. I have so little memory of this.
Yeah, so let's just go never used with
Yeah,
that.
I agree with that. Like I say, I probably had like less than 10 minutes playing with it
Yeah.
a long, long time ago, so I can't really recall how the controller feels or plays. So
And this, like, when I had experience with it, it was pre me moving to my what I call my childhood home.
Mhm.
Um, the first almost 6 years of my life were spent in Pittsburgh. And that's when I experienced it. And then
Okay.
when I was like 2 months before I turned 6 years old, I moved into my childhood home where I went to school and
Okay.
everything. Um, and I know I didn't do it after moving. So I was like 5 or younger.
Long while.
Okay, up next is the Wii U. I have zero experience with the Wii U because I absolutely refused to even bother with it when it came out.
Yep, me too. Exactly the same. I refused to get one. My parents offered to get me one. Never wanted one in my life. None of my siblings wanted one. It was just it was a write off. Never had it. Never will.
I wasn't a huge fan of the Wii, let alone the Wii U.
Oh no way! I love the Wii.
There were certain things like I remember playing like the Star Wars: The Clone Wars on the Wii.
Yeah.
And it was fun as a kid swinging around like an actual lightsaber.
Yeah.
Being a huge Star Wars nerd that I am. Even today, I would probably go into it still acting like a child and be like, "Yeah, let's fucking do this. Let's duel, bitch. Like, give me a toy lightsaber and I will fight you right now." And
Fight
I'm
you to the
20.
death.
I'm 27, and I would still do it. So, since we're on the topic of the Wii, where would you rank the Wii controller?
What, the Wii U or the Wii?
Or the Wii U, I guess.
Oh, Wii. I'd
But
never used. I'd
yeah,
never
never
had it.
used.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
but how about the Wii? The Wiimote, the nunchuck,
Uh, I
the
would
Wii.
have to put that in
I
B,
never,
I believe.
I never knew it was called the Wiimote. I'm looking at that picture of that poster, and it says Nintendo Wiimote nunchuck. Wait, it came out in '06.
Yeah.
Holy fuck! I'm a boomer. Oh my god. Alright. Yeah, I'm just feeling old for a moment. Um,
Yeah, that's gotta go in B tier for me. I played a lot of the Wii. I played like me and my brother would play Wii Sports or Wii Sports Resort, and there was a sword game on there that you could like duel each other and stuff. We
okay,
used to play
so
that all the time.
so the controller in itself, I would probably rank more of a D. But
Mm.
but alongside that controller, there was there. It was my first experience playing Zelda. Was on the
Okay.
Wii with Twilight Princess, and then of course the
Okay. Yeah.
Clone Wars game, like I mentioned. And I really appreciated the way that you had to use it on those. And same with
Oh, dude.
like Wii Sports, I guess was kind
Yeah.
of entertaining as you were batting and stuff. So
It's
looking,
the only reason I put it in B was because not only was it comfortable, but all the attachments that you had to use that you could use, like the guns that you could put the controller in, the
yeah.
wheels for like Mario Kart, and the
But
bats and the tennis rackets and stuff.
remember, we're looking at the default, not the accessories
I
that
know,
you can
yeah, no,
buy.
that's fine. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, like as a default, it was a comfortable controller. I had no problems with mine. The batteries always lasted for so long. The nunchucks never broke.
Okay,
It
so
was so good.
without nostalgia coming into play, the major issue I have with it at least I don't know if it was isolated or a rare thing that happens, but the connection of it would quite often drop. I never
I
owned
never
it.
had
I
that.
played it at my neighbor's, but it would
Hmm.
quite often. Well, not. I wouldn't say it commonly happened. Like uncommon. It somewhere between rare and uncommonly happened.
Yeah, I got yeah.
Where on occasion it would disconnect right in the middle of like the worst, like right in the worst moment to disconnect. And it was so annoying. But I'm willing to bump up to C if you're willing to bump
I'll
down.
I'll Yeah, I'll drop to C. That's fine. It was a good controller. I don't think I had any problems with it. I mean, you could use 2 candles to freaking use it, man. Come on, dude.
Yeah. Okay, so now on to some let's go ahead and take care of the PlayStation stuff.
Okay.
PlayStation controllers. Okay, so what the fuck is that second one? It doesn't have any joysticks.
That's a PlayStation 1 controller.
Are you sure? I could have sworn the PS1
Yeah,
had the freaking Joy-Cons.
I think they're both PlayStation 1 controllers. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, like
Hold on a minute,
yeah,
because we've
because the
got
PlayStation 2 was the black one right next to them.
yeah, but then we've got a PlayStation 2 further down. Or is that PS? Oh no, okay, so it goes PS. I think it's PS1 for both of the grey ones, PS3,
And
and then all the way at the end.
the one with the PlayStation button in the middle, kind of like the Xbox button, I think is
Oh no, that's 3. Sorry, yeah, the
3.
one next to the Xbox is PlayStation 3. The black
Yeah,
one over the other end is PlayStation 2,
2.
and I'm pretty sure the 2 grey ones are PS1.
Yeah, okay,
I'm
that's just
pretty sure. Because I remember using
yeah.
the one without the analog sticks to play Tomb Raider a lot
Ugh.
on
Okay,
PlayStation 1, and that was
so
great.
I have never used the one without the joysticks.
Okay.
So how would you rate it, and why?
I used it quite a lot. I thought it was a good controller. I mean, it was was it it was one of the first, if not the first proper controller I ever used to play games. Like it was my dad's console, so
Mm-hmm.
we played a lot of Tomb Raider on it, and I always found it comfortable. I mean, I was a kid, so I had small hands. It fit perfectly in my hands. The I liked it as well because you see how thin it is in the middle.
Yeah, it's fucking thin.
Yeah, I used to grab it and it used to fit around my hand, and that's how I used to measure my hands when I was younger.
Oh,
So if
okay.
my fingers touched, like how far my fingers touched or didn't touch, the gap between, like as I was grabbing it, like whether I knew my hands were growing or not. And I used to run into my brother and run into the room like, look, my fingers can almost touch.
Mm-hmm.
So, but for the use of the controller, like I say, it was a responsive controller. It always worked. Never had any problems with it. Lightweight. That being said, it was really small. It felt cheap. Um, D, I'd say, to be honest. Wasn't great. It was my first introduction to proper controllers, but it wasn't great.
I feel like just looking at it, I feel like if I had experience with it, that I would have ranked it as a D as well.
Yeah, like I say, it just worked. It was just is what it was. It was sort of like
Yeah,
a okay, this is what I've got. Let's just play sort of thing. So I'd definitely say D.
it did what it was intended to do, but there was nothing really
Yeah.
special about it compared to the others.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so then the one with the joysticks or the
So
analog sticks, I think there's the
I'd say
proper
I'd put it
name.
in C. Yeah, I'd put it in C, to be honest. Like I say, it was
Honestly,
basically the PS1 but on drugs.
well, I mean, it is the PS1 controller, the
Yeah.
one that I grew up with.
Yeah. Yeah.
I started playing. My cousins were Xbox. They had the original Xbox, so I rarely played it. But when I
Yeah.
did, it was always in their place in Pittsburgh. However, with the PlayStation 1, I have a lot of nostalgic memories of that thing. Same with the PS2, bro. Like,
Yeah, same, yeah.
what was the one game that I could not stop playing? And I don't, to this day, I look back, I'm like, why did I get into that game? But I still feel like I would play it anyways today. It was like Red Sun or something like that. It's like a space one where you're like flying through trenches on planets and fighting other ships. But
Was it I
anyways,
think
huh?
was it Colony Wars?
No, it definitely wasn't that. The one that
Colony
I'm
Wars.
thinking of, anyways.
Oh, I'm
Um,
not sure. I
yeah,
played a lot of Crash Bandicoot.
yeah. Oh, dude, Crash. That was my jam as a kid. And freaking Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Hell
My
yeah.
jam. Let's see. Oh no, it was Colony Wars Red Sun.
Yeah, okay, that's it.
See, I did the second part of it, and you got the first part of it. Yeah, this was fucking it, bro. Shout
Yeah.
out to Colony Wars Red Sun. I want to see a remaster of this fucking game. Oh my god, that is so hideous looking. Why did I like it? Oh my god. Yeah, that was definitely it. Okay, anyway, so I would what did you say you would rank it at?
Do you know, just to save the same answers, I'm gonna put the PS1 and PS2 both in C. I feel like the PS2 controller didn't really change much from the first one. It felt a
Yeah.
bit heavier, apart from actually the analog sticks were worse than the PS1 controller in my opinion. I did not like the PS2 analog controllers.
Actually,
The
yeah,
PS2.
I gotta say, yeah, thinking about that now, the PS1 analog sticks were better.
Yeah,
And that's
definitely.
like
They
the
felt
only thing that really changed in all honesty. I think it may have
yeah,
gotten like they changed maybe slight tweaks to the size and stuff thinking back
yeah,
on it,
maybe.
but yeah, they're about the same overall.
Yeah, I put them both in C though. I think they're both just as good as each other. I just think the PS2 analog sticks let it down a little
PS2 controller's the one. PS2 is what I played the most for
bit.
as a kid. I grew up, which is weird because now I'm a hardcore Xbox when it comes to Xbox versus PlayStation. Because
Yeah.
I bought a PS3 off of a friend years back. And he was strapped for cash, and I was like, "Here, dude, I'll help you out." And he was like, "No, I don't want hand me outs." And he was like, "How about?" He was like, "I don't use my PS3 anymore. How about you buy it off of me?" Like it would make him feel better because I was getting something out of it, like back out of it. I was like, "Sure, whatever. It's still collecting dust on a shelf." um, but I didn't really like it, and I kind of stopped giving a shit about PlayStation.
Yeah, me too, yeah.
No offense, Sony. I still love games like freaking Horizon Zero Dawn. That was an amazing game. I wasted too much of my life playing that when I first hopped in. Like those few days when I first got it, way too much of my time playing it. Granted, I got it on C, so it made it a bit more fun. um, yeah. Moving on to the next one, we have the GameCube.
S tier.
Yeah, think so.
Absolutely, yep. Yeah, 100%. It was so great. I played a lot with a friend. We played like Mario Party and stuff all the time. And we were smashing the hell out of these controllers. Like if you ever played Mario Party, you have to spam buttons like there's no tomorrow. And they just took it. They took all the abuse. And my friend was like aggressive when we played. So he was throwing controllers, he was spinning them around, he was absolutely decking the shit out of this controller, and it just took everything that we threw at it. It is such a good controller. His little brother used to chew, the little yellow analog stick. That was always just destroyed, and it still worked. It was just amazing. It was comfortable, always worked, no matter the damage. It was just an all-around great controller.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to submit this judgment to you because I have never played the GameCube.
Really? Wow,
I'm
that's
about to
interesting.
get some really pissed off people.
Wow.
As I said, the older Nintendo systems I never really touched. It wasn't until the freaking the original Nintendo DS. I had
Okay.
the original DS Lite. I had
Oh, okay.
for years, and I ended up just giving it away to to this family that was from a country over in Africa, and I gave it
All
to
right.
them because they didn't have a lot. So I was like, "Here, take this." Like they're over here
Oh,
on
that's
like a
cool.
school visa and work visa.
All right.
Yeah, I
That's
gave them
awesome.
that and most of my games that were appropriate for their age.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Excluding my Pokemon games, I refuse to get rid of those. I still have them, even though I don't collect like DS games or anything. But it's like I'm not getting rid of those.
No,
Freaking
yeah.
Pokemon Diamond.
Oh,
Yep.
hell yeah. Can't get rid of those.
Yeah. I think I still have Guitar Hero as well. All right, so
Yeah,
actually,
that controller's got to go S tier, no doubt.
so looking over at this poster, I actually realized that they have. I didn't notice earlier when we were talking about the PlayStation controllers, like the 1 and 2 controllers.
Mhm.
That in '94 they came out with the normal Sony PlayStation controller that did not have the analog stick, but
Ah,
in
okay, got you.
'97 they came out with the DualShock.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, just a little fun fact. Okay, then up next we have the NES.
I
Which
have very, very limited experience with this controller. Very limited, so I guess never used. I can't even think back to a time that I actually used it, to be honest.
I've played some of like the NES and like the N64 games and stuff like that they put on the Switch,
Mhm.
and as well as like Pac-Man and shit like that are all like those older games. But I've never actually played it off the NES,
All right, okay.
so I did have no experience. So
Yeah,
never
yeah,
used.
me either. Yeah.
All right, then up next we have the N64 controller, which I remember holding one at some point, but I had
Dude,
it was just I just held it for a moment.
yeah,
So
that's funny you say that because I literally remember there used to be a retro game store in my like local town, and I literally picked this controller up, held it, put it back down, and I've never touched one since.
yeah, so never used them,
No, yeah, never used yet.
and I don't even remember how it felt in my hand, so I can't really
No, yeah,
judgment off
no
of how it
idea.
feels. Okay, then this next one is the Sega Dreamcast.
Never used.
Never used.
Nope. Yeah,
To
me either.
me, it looks like a fucking spaceship.
It looks horrible.
Or, oh my god, it looks. Look at the little like the screen in the middle. What do you see?
I don't know. I see Kirby. I'm not gonna lie.
For whatever reason, I saw that and I just thought Among Us.
Okay, yeah.
Got a little Among Us, dude. I can see him being like that. That would be his face right there. And it's
That
just like a
controller
little,
sucks.
like a little like land speeder in Star Wars with the Among Us character or something. Just going vroom vroom
Oh
around. Oh my god.
dear.
Okay, now we have the PS3 controller.
I've got to put that in A.
Okay, I'm
Surprisingly.
trying. I did because I have that PS3. I did use it at one point in time before I upgraded to a Roku Express, which is like our TV box.
Yeah,
Um, I use my PlayStation to watch everything on my TV, like Netflix.
yeah. I
Then I had the
use
Roku, and then that died, and now I just have the freaking Comcast.
I played on PlayStation quite a bit. Um, I think some old Call of Duties and such. Um,
I
yeah, like I
played
said,
I played some of the Call of Duties. I don't remember which ones. I think Ghosts, maybe. I don't remember.
yeah.
And the God of War 3.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which I now that I think about it, go back and finish. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to like it's almost identical to the PlayStation 1 and 2.
Yeah, pretty
Um,
much.
but
It's just
I have it's nothing amazing, but I didn't necessarily have any issue with it.
no, like I said, the only issue I had was the analogs being so close together.
Yeah,
It kind of just annoyed me and felt uncomfortable, which is like it's the same as the other PlayStations. But I
yeah,
think because I used it like I didn't use it a lot, but I used it enough to get comfortable with it, if that makes any sense.
yeah, yeah. That makes
So
sense.
I kind of rate it higher than the other ones just purely because I used it a lot more than I did the other ones.
But is it? It's not as good as the Switch controller or the Xbox One,
No, yeah, that's a good point.
in my opinion.
I think C then. I think I'll put it with the other PlayStation controllers.
Yeah. Uh, upper C.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, oh, I would personally rank it probably about the same as the Wii controller, maybe.
Yeah, pretty much.
Joy Cons, oh my god, get those on the far right of C because those are the worst of all C's. Oh, okay. So then this last one looks like a fucking Xbox controller.
It's the
Oh
default
yeah,
Xbox One controller.
no,
Yep.
yeah, it's Microsoft's Fat Xbox is what
Yeah.
it's called on the poster. It's 2001. Um,
When the original Xbox One came out, right? The first
yeah,
Xbox One. Yeah, I'm gonna put that
X
in A.
Xbox One was 2013.
What was it?
I have
Yeah,
I have no experience with the fat controller. Or do I? Which controller did my cousins have growing up? I'm trying to remember. I feel like they had both. I don't know. I'll leave this one up to you.
So I'll put it in A.
Really?
Yeah, it was
It's fat.
maybe.
I am not
No,
fat
I'd say B
shaming.
actually.
We're
No, I'll
talking
say D.
we're talking controllers, not people. I'm only fat shaming on a controller.
I'll put it B, but I'm gonna
Okay.
put it in front of everything out, in front of the Switch and the Xbox
So
controller.
you're saying like
Top B, high
peak
B,
B,
yeah.
like one more point and it would be an A kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Like, because it was a good control. From what I remember, it was a really good controller. I had a lot of fun with it. It never really had any issues with it. It was just, it felt cheap.
Hmm.
Like it felt like it was made within 30 seconds and shipped out the door, sort of thing. Like it kind of was just like, here's a controller, bro. Like have fun, sort of thing. Like I
Yeah.
can't remember really having any problems with it. Just an all-round good controller. It wasn't the best, I think, like because I've been using the Elite Series 2 for about a year or so now. Um, yeah, I can't really fault it. It was huge. It was a big controller, but I kind of like that. It was
All right.
nice.
Okay, so there are some controllers that are not on this tier list. And I'm sure that most people probably have no experience with them in the modern era. Um, so, or some of them, I'm sure there are people. But we have the Atari Home Pong console in 1975. Like the controls were built into the console. Obviously, never used for me. I'm assuming never used for you, Rohdak.
No, never used it.
Pong is one of the best games, though. Then there's the Atari 2600 from 1977.
The year I was born.
Bullshit.
I was born in 97, man.
I said 77, didn't I?
I don't know. I thought you said 97. Not gonna lie.
Oh, I. Okay, 1977.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
may
no, I
have
was not born.
said. I may have. Uh, I may have said 97 on that.
I had no idea. It sounded like 97.
um. I remember holding one at one point in time, but I never actually played on the Atari with it. So,
No.
at least that I remember. We did that one. Did that one. Commodore 64 game system.
No
Giant,
idea what that is.
giant. It looks like an analog stick ripped out of a freaking. Like it looks like really like what you would see in a plane with the red buttons. It's really similar to the Atari one. It just with cosmetically looking different, but it's stick in the button. Um, then there's the I've never heard of this one, the Alari Jaguar.
No idea.
Never heard of it, let alone
Nope.
used it. Neo Geo CD has like one analog stick on the left and then 4 buttons on the right. I never heard of it. That was in '94. The Jaguar
Yeah,
was
no.
'93. Let's see here. Then we have the Apple Bondi Pippin. Looks like a fucking boomerang.
The fucking what?
But Apple Bondi Pippin. It looks like a fucking white boomerang with
Oh, I remember this. I've never used it. I remember it. I've been seeing it on the internet and stuff, but
never seen it.
it looks fucking weird.
Yeah. What?
You
Who
just
was
throw it in
it?
a rage and it
Did
comes
they
back to you.
hire? Did they hire an Australian zookeeper or something? They're like, I'm gonna make a fucking boomerang. Let's see. Then I'm also seeing here, uh, Microsoft Connect, Xbox Connect. I never used it.
No, me either.
Then there's the PlayStation Move, 2012.
PlayStation Move.
I never used that.
Was that the
It was like the 2 stick
with the weird ball
things.
thing on the top,
Yeah,
wasn't it? It sounded like a Wii controller. Yeah, I used that
yeah.
a couple of times. It was all right. It was not too bad, I guess.
Freaking
really comment on
Xbox
it.
tried using the Kinect and being like, "Look, I can do the same things without a controller." And then PlayStation was like, "Look, I can do things too, and make it look like a dodo." I mean, what? And those are the only other ones on here that I'm seeing that were not on here on the
I
tier
can't
list.
think of any that we've not mentioned, to be honest.
Yeah, same. Oh, what about mobile controllers, like for your phone? No, I'm kidding. I hate playing like freaking like games that you normally play with a controller on mobile, like PUBG. I freaking hate it.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's so
Same.
janky. But yeah, so that is the um controller tier list. Thank you for joining me yet again, Rohdak.
You are very welcome.